Okay, we're ready for history today, being Wednesday, March 25th. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and grab your history book, we're going to be on page 295 just as kind of a review, and then we'll pick up through Thomas Edison today. Okay, so page 295. Let's look, before we start with that, let's look at our map that we had. The southwest region, I'll bring it a little closer since my laptop is charging right now. But remember, we had the state of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma. We had Mexico here. We have Canada, way up here at the top where it's cold, where we were trying to get some snow air from. And then we have two bodies of water. To the west, we have the Pacific Ocean, and then we have the Gulf of Mexico. So that's where we were hoping all of our lovely snow would come from. Cam, I know you didn't want the snow to come, but we were hoping we would get some lovely snow. And it's still March. It's not totally impossible, but the chances are beginning to look pretty slim for us. So let's look and let's see if we can remember some of the things that these states are known for. Let's start with Arizona. Lillian, I can hear you saying the Grand Canyon right now. You enjoy those places to visit and those beautiful sights to see, so I can hear you saying Grand Canyon. Let's move over. New Mexico. Everybody, gold. Yes, the gold there in New Mexico. That lovely, lovely, we would love to get our hands on it there. Texas. Kylie, I can hear you saying barbecue. I can hear you, I can see you with your little shoulders up, barbecue. Because you always, what was the first thing you said when we talked about Texas was barbecue. Texas is also known for the Alamo. Remember that we talked about that in our previous history lessons. So let's go on over. All right, Lucy, where are you at? You're out there? Oklahoma. Yes, more astronauts have lived there. Absolutely. So yes, absolutely. Mexico. Charlie, I don't know. For some reason, I'm hearing you and I'm seeing you saying the beaches. So, Charlie, thank you for chiming in there for beaches. Also, everybody, yes, good food there. Some cuisine, some food. Now, let's look up at Canada. If you would pretend like it's way up where it's cold. Canada. A couple of things Canada is known for. Jamel. What do you think about Canada? It's very cold up there. Yes, cold. Also, the sport of hockey and maple syrup. So maple syrup is something I enjoy on my pancakes. So if you enjoy maple syrup, you can thank Canada for that. I think that's all the states. Yes. All right, remember our bodies of water here. The Pacific, remember I asked you kind of remember PA. Pacific is on the western edge, the California side. We, North Carolina, Atlantic Ocean. And we go to the beach, and we step off the sand, and we step in the water. We are in the Atlantic Ocean because we have the Atlantic Beach in North Carolina. That's where it gets its name from the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so we're going to be adding some states here soon to this. Just wanted to kind of refresh your memory on that. Oh, I wonder if you can do that. I think you can. Texas. Yeah. Got it. Good. All right. So let's move to our lesson for today, Thomas Edison. Page 295. Was he 80? How? 84? Yeah, 84 I think it was. We figured out yesterday when he died. Thomas Edison was, you see on page 295, was very curious. Wanted to know how things worked and why things worked. So you look on page 295 at the bottom. It says when he was younger, Thomas became very ill with scarlet fever and lost part of his hearing. After a while, his mother chose to teach him at home. So, hey, great people have been taught at home, right? Thomas Edison, we've studied a lot, especially in our previous times in history. Lots of people taught at home. Great time. Nothing's wrong with that, so we're going to keep rolling. Okay? He was very interested in science. I was sad to see science go. I like science. I like trying to see how things work and why. His mother gave him a lab to do his studies in the basement, and his father encouraged him in that. Now, you had the next section there in red is Morse Code. So you have Morse Code was developed. Samuel Morse developed this systems of dots and dashes. We talked about that. So if you were a spy, you couldn't intercept messages. It was just like, I would have no idea what that said. But you would have to kind of crack this code, and each of those dots and lines stood for letters. And it was, military messages being sent back and forth, okay? Going over to page 297, you have some information there going through his time. Early years, he was 12. He began working for a railroad company, 12 years old. Pretty impressive, huh? When Thomas was 16, he worked for the telegraph company, and he became very quick at receiving and sending messages, okay? That's what that was. That was that intel going back and forth. You don't want to say, hey, we're going to attack the enemy today down by the creek at 2 o'clock. You didn't want everybody to hear that. So you would send those codes, okay? I remember some of you guys started making little codes and sending things around. So, yep, you got that. We are going to turn over to page 298, and you have the phonograph there. Thomas Edison's favorite inventions was the phonograph. With this machine, he recorded his voice as he read the nursery rhyme, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And this was the first time a voice was recorded. Thank goodness he did that so we can have this today. So you had that voice recording then, okay? Page 299 is where we're starting today. Another famous invention. So we'll look at page 299. The invention most people think of when they hear the name Thomas Edison is the light bulb. Mr. Edison did not invent the light bulb, but he knew he could improve it. Fires were often started by the first light bulbs. Thomas Edison started looking for ways to keep the bulbs from catching fire to make them stay lit longer. They just got really hot, really, really hot. Thomas Edison spent months testing different materials. He never gave up. He continued to try until he found a way to make his inventions work. After 1.5 years, that's a long time to work day in and day out on one project, right? After 1.5 years, he finally found the right material to light his bulbs so that they would last longer. He set up a display around Menlo Park right before Christmas. This was the first Christmas lights display. When he turned on his lights, people from all around came to see his workshop. 2.5 years later, he set up his lights in a New York City display. I love Christmas lights. And I've even seen some shares on Facebook that people are starting to put their Christmas lights back up, just as a symbol of good times. And, when you think about Christmas, you think about Chloe. I know you're thinking about everybody being there and being together and having a good time together and just sharing. And gifts and stuff are great, but just having that family around. So people are actually starting to put some Christmas lights back up. I haven't been able to get Mr. Upchurch to get my lights out yet. So if maybe I can get mine put back out as well. But thank you, Thomas Edison, for this, because I'm excited about Christmas lights. Thomas Edison wisely said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work." Okay, so what does this mean? When we have something that we want to do and it looks tough, sometimes we say, nah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather do something the easy way. We can't do that. When we have projects or we have things that we need to get accomplished and finished, we really need to make sure that we're putting in the work that it takes. You and doing your daily lessons now, it could be easy to just be like, I'm not worried about this, Miss Upchurch said to read this. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Excuse me real quick. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to let this ride. But, we will have tests and quizzes on what we're going over. And then eventually, you'll be in 4th grade. And you'll want to be sure that you are familiar with what we're going over. It's going to be too late then to try to cram 4 months. You've had your school and then your vacation and then you've got school again in August. It's going to be hard to try to go back and do the end of your math book. I mean, we have to really work. We have to stay diligent in what we're doing. Okay? So for the rest of the time today, your assignment in history today is to read pages 300 through 302. Now on page 302, you have your comprehension check. So read your information, pick up your comprehension check, do that. If you don't know an answer, that's right, look back in the book. It's there. They're not making questions up right here. It's in the reading somewhere. When you see what code uses dots and dashes to send a message, try to go back and find that those red words there, we've talked about this, are section titles. Go back and try to find out. Where do you think that would fit under? Those are topics that these paragraphs are about. So if you're going to go to family life, I don't know if there's going to be anything about Christmas lights or not. I don't know. More inventions. Would you want to read about his childhood there? No. He's grown by this time. So make sure that you're going back to the right titles, topic titles, in the sections to find your answers. This will, like I said, they're not making up questions here. It's stuff that's all in the reading. That sometimes there may be something that's a little more of your, maybe your feelings or why do you think. So some of what, you're putting together, your reasoning. But most of these questions are found, the answers are found in your reading. So again, go ahead and finish up page 300 to page 302. Tomorrow, which will be Thursday, we will pick up on page 302. We will go over these questions, and then we'll talk about Alexander Graham Bell. Okay? So go ahead and finish that up, and we'll pick up there and go over those tomorrow. Okay?